Hello.
Welcome to the Bible Study Girl podcast. This is Sarita. You probably know me as Bible Study Girl. And the first voice that you are graced with was the voice of the executive producer of this podcast, Bible Study Brother.
Yo, it is I, Bible Study Brother, also known as Icarus Gray over at Gray Area Anime. But this is the most wonderful podcast of your day. Go and listen to my new single, They Say, on all streaming platforms. It's out now. Get you some energy.
Welcome, guys, to the 101 episode of the Bible Study Girl podcast. Lord, who knew that we would be podcasting and talking for this long? The Lord knew, because I didn't. But we're here, guys, and we're glad, so very, very glad that you are here with us, listening and growing with us. And I think today's blog recap episode is so appropriate because we are talking about the blog Qualified. If you're new around here, it's your first time really listening to a podcast or a blog recap from us, let me let you guys know what's going on. We take a blog that was written a while ago, kind of go over it in detail. Bible Study Brother, the blog, the things that he got from it. And then I'll chime in and let you guys know how I felt at the time that it was published and then how I feel now. If you are interested in reading the blog, I would love for you to head over to BibleStudyGirl.com. You can click on the magnifying glass. It's in the upper right-hand corner. That's if you're on your mobile device. I'm sure it's the same on the computer screen, but most of us exists on our mobiles. So you click on that magnifying glass in the upper right-hand corner and type in the word qualified. It will pull the blog right up. Otherwise, you will have to go through hundreds of blogs to get to qualified, and you get sidetracked. And I wouldn't be mad. I mean, I want you to read them all, but I'm just trying to get you up to speed and up to date with what we're talking about today. So happy 101, brother. We're talking about qualified.
Happy 101. I don't know if this is the start of season 3 for you guys or what's going on, but
the second episode of season 3.
Oh, well, hello and welcome to season 3. We never even mentioned it, but welcome.
Well, we have in the 100th episode, brother.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
Good shot.
It's fine.
Good shot there, isn't it? But before I get into all that other stuff, I want to tell you guys, please go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You got a good video up right now of the 100th episode. I know you like the way it looks. I worked very hard on this. I was on a deadline, guys. I had to get it done, get it out, and I'm very, very, very happy with it. Go and run those numbers up because we're gonna have more things like this for you guys. It won't be like the 100th episode because those only really get to come once we're in the same place together, but we'll do more of that because you guys are growing us so much. The funds are available. So thank you in advance for going and subscribing. By now, hopefully we are at 100 subscribers and my sister gets to be on my next album.
And I'm really excited about it. And I think you guys are excited to hear my lyrical genius at work in a musical format.
You're just talking. I never said anything about letting you rap. No, ma'am. That is a whole nother goal. Like once we get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll let you rap on a song.
So what you're saying? So what kind of tomfoolery do you think I'm finna do on this album?
You just
I'm coming.
You get to talk. You get to like have your moment.
As in rap. When you
I know we just said it. So when you guys get just to 1,000, you'll hear that rap. I can't wait. I can't wait for it. I cannot wait. It's gonna be.
Is that 1,000 on Facebook?
That is 1,000 on YouTube.
1,000 on YouTube.
That will mean that you guys have gotten us to the monetization number in terms of subscribers. And hopefully by then we've hit 4,000 hours because y'all be watching everything that we put out. And once we get there, she's gonna rap, and it's gonna be glorious. Because I'll even ghostwrite for her.
I don't want a ghostwriter.
You need one. It's okay.
You ain't
Uh,
seen me in these lyrical streets. I know we
listen.
supposed to be talking about qualified, but let me tell you something. I'm qualified for this, baby. I am qualified. I just had a talk with you yesterday about confidence. You're gonna hate when I'm confident, and you're gonna hate when I walk into my college. And
Listen,
see, that's the
I have
thing
always
right
hated
now.
when you're confident because you are only overconfident when it comes to coming around my stuff. Like it's just like the big sister in you comes out like, listen, man, ain't nobody doing it. Like, and I'm like, why? Why with my stuff that I'm already confident with? I think it's my confidence. It just rubs off on you. Like the competition in you comes out if it's something like this.
Here's the thing, my rapping genius is not even a competition thing with you. You know that I had planned to like make it as a rapper so I wouldn't have to go to college, and it didn't happen. So that's a dream deferred, and I'm trying to bring it back up. So just let me rap. Okay, so what's the number for me to get in a music video then? Since it's got to be 1,000 views, I mean 1,000 subscribers on YouTube for me to get on a
On
rap
on a
song.
song, we'll go 500. When we hit 500, you can be in a video.
Okay,
500
I thought the
subscribers.
number would be even greater than that, but
No, not
I'll
like
take
you being a video is fine. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna have these videos where you just acting a fool and I can cut out all that stuff. So you are under control and you will like act accordingly to whatever the video is
it.
needing. So
I'm a fantastic actress, my friend.
I know, and that's what you'll be employed for. Not you're thinking you finna just be an
Not
embarrassing
twerking,
parent. Like I just
not twerking.
it'll
Okay.
all be cut and deleted. Like I'm not even you won't
Killing
even see it.
killing my dreams. Okay, but let's talk about qualified, brother. What did you get when you read the blog qualified?
So I'm always of the opinion that if God asks you to do it, you're qualified to do it. Uh, and in this blog post, kind of going through, the qualification process in terms of like how we think about it. It's not us who determines whether or not we're qualified. God qualifies us through His love and through creating us. He qualifies us with our gifts. He qualifies us in the places of purpose that we walk. I don't need nobody's, okay. My pastor, Reverend Slater, told me one time, or said one time in my license, he said, "Well, I'm glad that we're not on the committee that called him." And he said it in a way of encouragement of like, whether you think this, that, and the third, I ain't on the committee. Y'all not on the committee. And more of us need to understand the qualifications of God qualifying us and equipping us more than anything. When you're forming a relationship with Him and you know where you're going, you know what you're doing, He's giving you everything you need. And the only way to continue moving forward is to understand that and keep walking. Because sometimes you'll be in rooms where it's like, well, I don't have a degree, I don't have this, I don't have that. I've been that person. I'm definitely always that person who doesn't feel sometimes as qualified because I don't have a master's. I didn't finish college. I did graduate high school. Praise the Lord. And there are times where I question my wisdom because of the lack of those things. But it was very recently when we were in prayer about our original designs at the church we attend now, where that's something they said about me was wisdom. And they ain't met me. They don't know me from Paul, that kind of thing. Like this is the first time meeting this person and they're just allowing God to use them to kind of explain to me or say some of the things that God is saying that are true about me. And so the reason I brought that up is because the day before we did that, I had just had this conversation. I had a small conversation with my wife. My wife goes, "You are very intelligent." And I was like, I kind of downplayed it in a way of, well, I don't want to come off as overconfident about intelligence. Like I don't have the same kind of studying that this person has or that person has, right? And then we get into the next day where it's like, no, I say this about you. Like, and I don't say it in a way of qualification, like you're qualified as a wise person. Wise is not selective to whether or not you went to school for 12 years.
Yeah,
It's
wisdom comes from the Lord, my
so
friend.
it's one of those things
And you
where,
can have books of smarts and not be wise. Wisdom is knowing how to apply what you got in your head.
yeah. So that is what a lot of what I got from the blog post. I don't know. I was about to call it a chapter because that's probably confirmation for you. In terms of where
It's
my
interesting how
spirit
you
is.
want to point out confirmation for me, but you won't accept confirmation
No,
for
I did accept confirmation. Listen, we ain't gotta get in. I did accept confirmation. See, this is the thing, and I don't know if it might be a gender thing. It might be
It probably
because I feel
is.
like gender or not gender, but confirmation for y'all is do the exact
No,
thing,
no, no. I was saying that I said the exact same thing that somebody else said to you, but I didn't know what they said to you. So for me, that was like, that's confirmation.
but you were more confirming the intentions. That's the only
Yeah,
confirmation I got from you. I already knew that part. I like the confirmation you gave me more so was to understanding that which was a good confirmation that the distraction is communication was made. It just did not end in what would quote unquote be a amicable or pleasing place, and that's
got
like
it.
okay. Like
Okay.
frustration is a thing. So no, I got you. I don't see this other thing. You doth presume too much of like thinking that I don't get or listen to you specifically. It's like, yeah, we listen. It's just like if you don't get the outcome, and that's why I'm saying I think it's like a different thing. Sometimes it's like, no, I hear it,
Yeah,
and then it's
for
like I
me,
get the confirmation, but I got
for me,
that.
it
Like I
won't
got
have.
that. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
So
yeah,
I'm
but
sorry I interrupted you, but you were saying it's confirmation for me. I actually was going to make an announcement. Are you finished?
yeah, I was only gonna say that. Remember, as a person of Christ, like when you're walking in purpose, you are equipped. You are confidently equipped to do what God has asked you to do, and the enemy is going to do his best to distract you from that.
Okay. So I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think every time we talk about a blog, it's something that's relevant to me in my life right today, right? So when I published this blog 3 years ago, or over 3 years ago at this point, man, it's over 3 years ago that I published this blog. I was struggling with feeling like I shouldn't be writing a blog every day. I shouldn't be talking about Jesus every day. Yes, I have a relationship with him and I do life with him, but I felt like I know this sounds weird, but I don't ever want people to assume that I feel like I'm the poster child for Christianity. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, when they hear the word Christian, they think you are perfect or you feel like you're perfect, maybe like you're better than other people, that you have, I don't know, almost like you want to impose on other people, and I don't ever want that to be the intention or the focus. And I also felt like when the is it when the rubber meets the road? Yeah, when the rubber meets the road, like, and if people want to ask me about Christ and my relationship with Christ or want to challenge me on the Bible, and the controversial things that are in the Bible and the debates of the Bible, I'm not the one for you to run to. Yes, I'm a representative of Christ, but I don't want to be put out here as somebody that knows it all cover to cover, front to back. And so I didn't feel qualified. I did not feel qualified to write a blog every day. I did not feel qualified, even though they are my own personal stories about my own walk with Christ. I didn't feel qualified. Like, it's so many people in the world that know the Bible up and down, back and forth. Why should I put this out every day? And the conclusion I came to is because he asked me to, because he wants me to. And it doesn't have to make sense to me. Everything he has for me, everything that he wants me to say, he's going to give it to me, you know? And really, at the end of the day, the responsibility for the blog is not on me, it's on him. This is what you called me to do. You said I could do it. I'm just going to lean into that and I'm going to trust you. And so I think that is a pattern that has continued throughout my entire life, especially since I started writing a blog. I don't feel qualified. And it's not even just about the blog, it's so many different areas of my life. In my professional life, I don't feel qualified. Yes, I have a master's degree, but to this day, if you ask me a question, I'll tell you, okay, that's what I think. It don't mean it's right, but that's what I think. I always have to put a disclaimer on everything I do. I do not walk in the room the most confident person. I do not walk in the room like I can shut all of y'all down. That's not me. That's not who I am. And so I struggle with feeling qualified in a lot of areas of my life, um, professionally, even in my relationships with people. I know I can present as very awkward, especially when I'm in a new situation and around new people.
Mm.
I'm uncomfortable. That's not what I want to slide in the room and sit in the back. You know what I mean? Like that's what feels good.
Yeah,
That's what feels
because
right.
it always feels good to play the back. It doesn't, like, if you think about David in terms of where David was put, like before killing Goliath, like, Daddy, you not even my favorite son. You out here in poop cleaning up sheep all day. Like, I don't think highly distinguished of you in that regard. Like, I got all these other sons, and this the one you want.
Right.
So there's the thing I think that has always been there that I would definitely pray for you on, especially with both of us, is what lie, when do we believe the lie that we're not capable of something on a grand stage? Like, when? Like, when was it okay to feel like, because even with me, like, my thought was kind of like, I'm going to do the thing that validates me in regards to people. Like, the thing that it's like, you didn't think that I could do, and I'm gonna get, applause for it, whether it was sports, whether it was, trying to get in shape, whether it was the woman I married, date, whatever at that time. Is gonna be so fine. It's just like, what, how, and she's going to continuously let you know that I'm that dude, whether you knew it or not, or wanted to, all this other stuff. Even if it's stuff with us where it's like, we're gonna play this game and I'm not losing because I'm that. Like, she thinks she that. No, I'm that.
Now I will say when it comes to game night, I am confident. And you missed it, bro. Charades.
I didn't miss nothing. I didn't miss a thing. I'm not. Listen, when you started talking, it just gave me flashbacks of when I think there were two people on my team, and I know why I lost. Like, I feel like if my brain is correct, that I had to deal with the two people you don't want on your team during game.
So at game night, I'm confident. In many other
No,
areas
no.
of my life, I am not. But I will say this. Were you finished?
Almost. I was just really
Okay.
getting to the point of like saying to you in encouraging words that, like, you're bigger than what you give yourself credit for, and you earnestly have to start telling yourself that. It's not it's not a hubris thing. It's a reminding of what God says you are. Like, why would I make you so multifaceted to be in the back? Like, and I didn't make you multifaceted. Like, not only did I make you multifaceted, I made you a light that draws people. So you can't even when you think you back in a corner, the light is shining bright, and there are things that are going to come from you. So why do you think that light, like, why are you trying to throw a blanket over that light and then say, no, it's not happening? Like, everything in you draws bigger and better. Like, people want to be around you. People want to invest in you. Like, it's not just as much as you will sometimes play me to the side in terms of my encouragement, you just be encouraging to be encouraging. And I'm like, but other people have done this in the same way, and like are in awe and impressed by what you do. I'm just authentic with mine. Like, and it's not a because you're my sister thing.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say, okay, you are correct. And I was talking to my therapist about this, and he was like, you can keep fighting God if you want to. Let me know how that work out
Yeah,
for
please
you.
let me know.
I was like, I mean, that's up to you. You gonna do what you want to do. I'm just saying, like, you just let me know how that works out for you. So I said all that to say this. Yes. Um, as a general rule, I wouldn't walk into the room like the baddest person in the room. But so many things have been happening lately. You and I just had a conversation yesterday where I was like, you know what? At the end of the day, I do need to walk into the room with confidence. I do need to start owning things. Like, I'm drawing inspiration from other people. Like, I need to be confident. I need to be confident like that. And for me, I want to say for me, it's not like in my opinion, it's not a self esteem thing. Like, I think I just have very high standards. And if it don't look like what I see in my mind, it just ain't right.
But this is what I'm saying. Like the self-esteem part comes into like you'll look at a position and look at it like it can't look like me. And that's a self-esteem thing. Like at the root of it, it is. Because if you're looking at the places that you can go with, whether it's a Bible study, with this podcast, with the blog in and of itself, if you don't see yourself in the same place that whatever the place is, because you shouldn't be in that comparison place in the first place, because whatever success is
Well, I'm
going to
not
be.
talking about comparing
No, I
myself
know,
to
no,
people.
I know you're
Oh,
not. I'm just telling people in general,
okay.
not you. Uh, you don't need to be in a comparison place. You also don't need to be in a place where you start to limit yourself, because again, whatever you're creating in your head ain't what's being asked, in a certain way. And if you don't see yourself in those seats, if you can envision what it is you're doing and where it can take you, but don't see yourself in that seat because it doesn't fit you, that's a self thing. That's looking at you and saying, I am not worthy of this, like whatever it is you're creating.
You're right, whatever it is you're creating, but also sometimes it is, I just don't see myself being that, period. Not even being worthy, but I just don't see myself being that because that's not in my plans. But also in one of my talks with my
I was just about to
therapist,
say, tell God your plans. It's the best
right?
joke in the world.
Also, also in one of my talks with my therapist, he is like, "Well, then you don't need God. Then if you've got the plan and you know how it's gonna turn out, you don't need him. Like, what do you need him for if it's gonna be like this? That's where the leaning and depending and the trusting in him comes in. And so if you listen to the 99th episode of this podcast when I got together with my BSGs. You've already heard this news. This is a repeat. This is nothing new, but it ties in beautifully with this episode about being qualified because in my episode with the BSGs, I'll let you guys know that a Bible study girl is writing a Bible study. How scary and crazy and above and beyond anything I ever wanted. And I mean, really, I don't want to do it, but I'm leaning and depending on God that if He called me to it, then He's going to give me the tools that I need to complete it. And so, your thing that God has called you to do may not be to write a Bible study. It might be to reconcile with a family member. But if he's called you to it, he's going to give you the tools to get that thing accomplished. So, whatever it is, if God has called you to it, he has qualified you for it. And I think that is one thing I need these reminders. I will always say that the blog recaps are very helpful for me because they help ground me present day in moments where I need confirmation, where I need reassurance. Like, Lord, am I hearing your voice correctly? I am. And then everything He's called me to do, He gives me everything I need to do it.
I was
What were
gonna
you
say,
going to say,
what's
brother?
funny is your blog post, because you have a year's worth of blog posts, right?
I have more than a year. I
Well,
got
yeah,
like,
but I mean at least a year is what I'm saying. Like, so
yeah.
just follow me along. So currently, you could find, like, if you had to go through each blog post and make it down to a sentence or a paragraph or something like that, You could have one of them little daily reminder books, and that's what that is. Like that's what I've been feeling recently. Is it's like you literally had one of those things where you
Brother,
wrote down, and then you go and you look, and it's
brother,
like, yeah,
you know how we talk about confirmation?
yeah.
That was confirmation for me. That's something that's been in my head. And so I've been looking like how could this make this happen? So
Yeah.
hopefully, maybe even by the time the people are listening to this, that daily reminder book will be out. But like that, for real, that's
Yeah.
definitely confirmation.
So,
Good
yeah.
thing we was fasting and praying and stuff, huh?
Yeah. I'm telling you, like, I'm just, it like hit me like a ton of bricks. I was just like, oh, this is just like that. Like, as we go through this, because you get a reminder of something that God said to you. And that's how you know that God said it to you, because when you come back to it, it hits you the same way that, like, if you read the Bible every year, like, I guarantee you, every time you read it, there's going to be something that is revealed to you in a different way that it wasn't
Right.
before.
You can read the same passage and it will hit differently every time and it will minister to you right
Yeah.
where you are, right in that season. Every time.
Because I guarantee
That's,
Job will
yeah,
read so different to me right now after
I'm
last
sure.
year. Oh, after last year, Job gonna read different. It's gonna
Yeah.
hit different. It's hidden in a different place, of just totality of that emotion and that spirituality. But yeah, that's what I just gathered.
Is there anything you feel like you weren't qualified for? You've been called, but you don't feel qualified?
Mm, no, that's never my thing. Like, whenever I finally like do a thing, I do feel qualified or whatever. Sometimes I'll have, my biggest issue is I don't be feeling qualified for success. Like, that's the biggest distraction that I've ever had in my life. That leaves me just as lazy as possible.
So, what's your definition of success?
People actually listening. Like, once people are starting, once the responsibility of people are there, once the responsibility of, like, oh, this is changing things, like, oh, you think I'm a expert or the person, when instead of like listening to the testimony, they start to make role models and things out of you. I mean, we talked, I think, in one of these recent episodes, I was talking about Jonathan McReynolds, and when we become the testimony, even though we're still living in whatever it was that I wrote or I said or I'm doing, like, I'm still working through that. That's why I wrote this song.
Right.
Whereas the presentation to somebody says, I've conquered or whatever it is. I'm like, no, that's not
Right.
why I wrote it. Like, and knowing that about him in regards to like the songs, whether it's The Gray, whether it's Make Room, and if you think about it, it's like, oh, that's where you were. Like, you're really dealing with this. You're dealing with making room and time for God, even though, you're on tours and everything else. Like, you're dealing with not living in the gray, trying to live in the world and live, spiritually and all these other things. So, that's more so where I am, in a sense of like, it's kind of a mix of yours, which is like, well, what is my plan? And then the other side of it is, but if it is your plan and I'm doing this right, where is this going to take me? Where is this going to put me? Am I going to be able to, like, I think I get so scared of like a David mistake, or Saul fall kind of thing. Like, these things where it's like, man, when I'm in these rooms, is it going to be food? You know what I'm saying? Is it going to be search history? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you going to find like something I saw when I was 11?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's societal. Like, now the attack is going to be there fully. And it's like, I don't want to get so caught up in my hubris. It's the actual story of Icarus in a way. Like,
Yeah,
I
flying
started
too
doing,
close to the
I
sun.
did what you wanted me to do, versus what I say about my rap name, which is we all got wax wings regardless. So if you're not trying to reach what God asked for you to do, then what are you doing? So that's my biggest qualification thing, is like, am I qualified for where this puts me? Like, am I where I can do what I need to do. And the answer to that, which I guess he's just pouring into me, is I don't have to be everything and ready for that. Because
You
that's when
don't.
I ask him to help me or
Right.
to feel me and to sustain me through, whatever you got going on, because I'm still a person at the end of the day. And we can say that a million times. It's not a cop out to anything. It's just saying, like, no matter what happens, I know that I'm going to make mistakes. Like, and I'm going to work through that mistake to be better, period. Whether you believe it, whether you accept it, whether you think it's so, I'm glad that my qualifications and my forgiveness don't come through people.
Right. And also qualified doesn't mean perfect. It
Right.
means that God has equipped us with what we need to get the job done. Like he gives us an opportunity. And if you listen to an earlier podcast, I talk about the Bible study experiencing God. And it is something I encourage every believer, every Christian to go through. You can get some of your friends together, some family members. It doesn't have to be church family, and really go through it, because it talks to you about the different ways that you experience in God, and it talks about God providing an invitation, an open opportunity for you to work with him. And the thing is, if you don't accept the invitation, somebody else will. But what a privilege it is that God extends the invitation for us to be impactful for his kingdom. He doesn't have to do it. He could pick whoever he wants to, but he sees something in us and he's birthed something in us. And he wants to get it up out of us again. And you talked earlier about me being multifaceted.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna quit talking about my therapist, but y'all, therapy has changed my life in so many different ways. And
And
it's been
don't,
in
no, and no, and don't. Like, no, see, don't, no, 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 no. Encouraging brother comes through again. Like, no,
No, I'm just
because
saying, I encourage people to go to therapy, but I also realize therapy is expensive. I know that
no,
from
I
my own
understand, but
thing.
it's like, but that's not a look. There are no obstacles and barriers. There are ways in which everything can be figured out. Like, whether it's going to better help, whether it's like there is somebody within your state, within your city, within 30 minutes or whatever way that like is offering or giving some form of therapy that is
And you know
accessible to
what? I
you.
think I probably need to link some resources in
Yeah.
this episode, and I'm going to do that so people can go get mental health if they need it. We all have mental health concerns.
Hmm.
But dang it, what was I saying about my therapist?
Uh,
What were we talking about?
just think something about,
Oh,
yeah,
you were talking about me being a multifaceted
person. Yes.
person, and I have all these gifts and all these talents. And I think one thing that we're honing in on in therapy is like, okay, he's giving you all of these things. So you definitely need to take that into consideration. But just at the root of it all, what is your purpose? Why did he put you specifically here on this earth? And that's something that I'm working through. And some of the things you said to me are things that I said to him as well. People are drawn to me, and I know that about myself. I'm very aware of that, the people are drawn to me. I am aware of that, but what does that mean? And so I'm working through that, guys, bit
That's
by
fine.
bit.
It'll take it some time. I get it. Just know that people are here to encourage. It doesn't mean you gotta be like there is no God's expectation is the only expectation you gotta feel.
100%. And that's the only expectation I'm trying to meet.
So
I will say I'm a daddy's girl. My father has very high expectations.
yeah.
They're talking about God. And so I,
But he has expectations that he knows you can meet. It's not because I think worldly expectation comes with the sense that you can let somebody down. Godly expectation is that he knows you can, period. And because he is the father of all things and he was there at the beginning and the end, he's already seen you doing it.
right.
So there's no greater confirmation than when he asks us to do something. And like I was telling y'all, the distraction is not whether or not God thinks you can do it. The distraction is when you allow somebody else to determine that bar, to determine that place where you think you should be. And can't nobody determine it but God. And people are fickle. Like one day,
People are.
like the Kanye situation that happened last year. Like all of this stuff in terms of him is us putting expectations in somebody that is valuable, period.
Okay.
And no matter what it is that goes on, it's just like whatever he decides to do, and however he walking in his purpose or not walking in his purpose or walking left, saying this about folks, saying whatever, da 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 da. The reason he gets so much, he continues pushing no matter what, is because at the end of the day, he's confident in what he's doing. That's why he don't care. He just say whatever. And it makes sense to it because I ain't trying to like get too much into all the stuff he said because I ain't trying to bring none of that back up. But more so, what I'm pointing to is there are times where we just have to lean to the fact that people are going to pick what they want to pick. Because there are people who never liked him who now riding for him because you're saying the thing I need said, and vice versa. There are people who are leaving. So it ain't about the people. It's never about the people in that way. It's not about the people first. It's about, am I doing what God asked me to do? And through doing what God asked me to do, it'll touch the people it needs to touch.
Because here's the thing that I don't want to happen. I don't want to get to heaven or, and I don't know how this going to roll out, but I don't want him to be like, girl, why you didn't do what I asked you to do? Like I had it all laid out. All I wanted you to do was trust me. I want to be able to leave this earth and know that I did everything I could. That I did everything I could. I don't want to leave the work undone. And so that's my push, that's my drive. And I'm wondering today, you guys can answer in the comments. You can um answer it privately just in your car or while you're listening. Are there any areas of your life that you feel called but not qualified? Are you walking in your calling? And if not, why? What's holding you back? What's stopping you? We're always available. If you want somebody to pray with you, to help you walk through this thing, we're here for that. I truly believe this is a place of community for us, and we're going to be better together. One thing my pastor has pushed and said probably since I've joined, we cannot do life alone. Like, we need people. And I think that is something that has become more clear to me as time goes on. We definitely need people. So I am here for you. Bible Study Brother is here for you. We want to talk this thing out. We want to build community and build family and give you an opportunity to share your struggles with your Christian life, your joys, your triumphs with your Christian life. So if there are any areas of your life where you feel called but not qualified, we can talk that thing out. We can hash it out. And if there are any just positive stories you want to share, we'll take that. We love positive. We love goofy. Uh, I am goofy. Believe it or not, I am. Sometimes I feel like these podcasts get very wong, wong, wong. And I definitely don't want that. I want you guys to know I feel like I have a full life. I definitely enjoy my life. And I think the thing about the blog is a lot of times I am talking about my challenges. And so it gets a little, ho hum drab, make you shed a tear sometimes. But my life is not all tear jerking and sad.
Yeah. But let's tell the people in these social places where you can reach us. You can reach us on Twitter at Bible Study Girl, the number 2. You can reach us on Instagram at _ Bible Study Girl, Bible Study Girl on Facebook. Make sure you like, and you can message us there about if you want to join the show or if you have prayer requests for us to pray for you. You can hit up our email at BibleStudyGirl2019@gmail.com. But most importantly, go to YouTube and search Bible Study Girl and go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're going to continue banging out content for you guys and making sure you get a great experience of this podcast. Clearly, for full episodes, you need to make sure that you are right here. One of these days, because by now I've worked out something. There's an episode of something that we did together up. And you'll currently realize at this point how we record these things because um, we gotta make a bit of a shift, but we have content that we're feeding you guys. So remember, it is not wallowing in the sin that preaches, but we preach.
And until we meet again, guys, keep preaching. My bad, I got distracted. But keep preaching, y'all.